Fast Eddie Constantine from Pro MMA, and we are joined by crew Mark DellaGrotte. Mark, world-renowned Muay Thai instructor. You know, one of the things I wanted to talk about, we spoke with Dave Camarillo last weekend at his opening of Guerrilla Jiu-Jitsu and VIP MMA, is the unique relationship in being an instructor and what he learns from his students. And that's always a question I like to ask of the world-renowned instructors. So what do you take from your students being a teacher? How do you learn from your students?
Sure. You know, I actually learned from my students just as much as they learned from me. You know, there was years where I had gone to Thailand and come back and found myself without an instructor, being the only instructor. And at that time, you know, those years, I had to actually draw energy from my students. You know, so a good teacher-student relationship means that it's a give and take. You know, perhaps I get to know them on a personal level and I become their friend first and foremost. But more importantly, you know, they help me develop myself. They're not only there for me to instruct, but they're there as training partners. They're there to ask questions that perhaps I didn't cover and I can answer, and makes me a better instructor. So having a teacher-student relationship, it goes beyond the gym. I believe that first and foremost, in order to learn from an instructor, you have to respect them. You have to get to know them and understand who they are and the type of character they are. And then, you know, once you get past that first hurdle, you know, it's a give and take. You know, it's never me giving and not receiving. You know, I get just as much out of my students as they get out of me. And I think that's very important, and that's something that's often overlooked.
I couldn't agree with you more. You know, I do teach women's self-defense, and that's the same thing. When you're demonstrating a move, it really does help to refine, oh, maybe this wasn't why this certain technique was working. But again, got a large stable of fighters. Some of those fighters, let's go over a little bit and how they're doing. Jorge Gurgel coming up, Strikeforce against Billy Evangelista. That's going to be a great fight. You know, we're about a month out. How is Jorge looking? Is he finally, again, taking to technique, you know, because he's got all the tools, but sometimes the stubbornness kicks in.
Absolutely. You know, Jorge is a very exciting fighter, very fast-paced fighter, always has, always will be. But what we've done is we tried to actually slow him down a little bit, you know, and not necessarily stand in front of his opponents like he always does. You know, there's one thing that you can always expect out of Jorge Gurgel, and that's an exciting fight, you know. But after every fight, we always make jokes about us having to miss the after party and end up in the hospital to get stitches, and it's just the way he is. You know, he has been known to be stubborn, but I've really seen a change in his ability to learn and take direction and take coaching from me. And again, you know, at first I barely knew him and it was difficult to coach him. And as I got to know him and we built that teacher-student relationship, he has a lot of respect for me. I have a lot of respect for him. And now that we're on the same page, I see Jorge doing big things. You know, he has a tough fight coming up with Billy Evangelista, who ironically enough has had some experience training at AKA, not directly affiliated with AKA, but is affiliated with his management is affiliated with the camp, Bob Cook, and you know, those guys come always prepared, and that's something we've looked at, and we know what type of fight it's in for. But that's the type of fight we want all the time. You know, we don't want cakewalks, we don't want easy wins, or we don't want to put ourselves in bad spot. We want to give the fans what they're paying for, and that's an exciting bout. We want a lot of back and forth, and I think stylistically these two match up to bring nothing but fireworks.
I, again, couldn't agree more. You're making this a little easy for me, Mark. I keep agreeing with you, but especially with this fight with Billy, you know, couldn't have a better guy training him, you know, being with your stand-up background and pedigree. So are you playing the Billy Evangelista role a lot in that camp? Are you emulating Billy, you know, for Jorge?
Yeah, you know, a lot of people, when they're fighting Muay Thai practitioners or fighters, fighting people that have a good striking game, you know, they find a home at Sityodtong. You know, that's one of our specialties. You know, a lot of people don't come to me for a wrestling game plan or to learn Jiu-Jitsu. We do those things there, and we can prepare any fighter for any game plan. But one of our specialties, of course, is the stand-up game, is the striking game. And, you know, Jorge knew this coming in, and I think regardless, Jorge would be there. Regardless of opponent, he'd be there. You know, again, it's more about rapport and being able to coach the fighter and have that teacher-student relationship and having the trust and respect between each other. And that's the learning environment that we like to instill at Sityodtong. But absolutely, you know, if you're looking to train or you're going to fight a striker, you know, there's definitely plenty of good striking opponents or striking partners for anybody to get ready at Sityodtong.
This is true. This is true. And again, you know, this, you said it, this is a very big fight for Jorge. You think coming after, you know, November 6th, if he comes out of this with a win, are we looking at the winner of Josh Thompson, Gilbert Melendez? Is that the game plan, or just one fight at a time?
You know, right now, exactly, we're taking one fight at a time. We have entertained the thought, and it has been thrown back and forth through management and people at Strikeforce, upper people at Strikeforce, and it's something that we have our sights set on. But again, we're not going to distract ourselves from the task at hand, which is getting through Billy Evangelista. I think anybody that looks over a fighter like Billy Evangelista and looks past him is going to put himself in a vulnerable position when it comes on fight night.